I've been using sisal for a really long time. It's something that we source in Africa and Haiti, so I was kind of excited to use that, and then I wanted to experiment with all the different ways that it can be, and it made me think about, as a black woman, there's so much narrative around our hair and how we choose to wear our hair and do with our hair and all of that, so I wanted to use that natural fiber to sort of represent that on these shoes.
I really thought of a Black African superhero CHROMAT babe, and I really thought of my mother. And so growing up with her in a Nigerian household, using her African garbs and Ankara, and having her colorful clothes, and it seemed very natural to add the Ankara into this look. And then when we saw the film, we saw there's a lot of technology behind the film, so we wanted to add tech pieces. So we added the neoprene, and we added as well as the bonding fusible fabrics. And then just to put an ode to the CHROMAT babe, to the CHROMAT that we always have, we added the cages because Becca's background is in architecture, so it seemed very natural to put all three of those together into one look and then placing the look inside of Wakanda.
Letitia's character, the tech guru, I'm obsessed with her. I think there needs to be more Black girls in tech, and I really hope that this movie inspires more women in tech to really jump into the ring, because her character is so amazing, and I love that she's the mastermind behind all the technology.
We were really excited to be a part of this. The movie is really incredible. It's, really seeing it for the first time, it was so exciting, and just the characters, they're such powerful and empowering people, and it's really about coming together and working as a team, as a family, and that was a really nice message. The women in the movie especially are just so strong and powerful and smart, and I think that's a really important message.
So we went with this gold lame to kind of look like liquid armor, and also empowered by the women warriors, and where the strength came from. We felt that the heart-shaped herb was really beautiful and what it represented. So we used that as inspiration for the embroidery that went all the way through our dress.
What excited me most about being part of it was just being a part of this historical moment in our culture, and being able to represent a powerful aesthetic for women, particularly women of color. So that was exciting to be able to have that platform, to be able to share that and be part of that messaging. Mm-hmm. I would say the inspiration was the vibe of and the essence of the women. So like Angela Bassett's character Ramonda and Shuri and the Dora Milaje, just that really bold, powerful, prideful attitude and character that they had. That was the inspiration that I pulled from. I added some specific African details. So some of the beads are actually from Ghana, and I wanted to make sure they were raw. So there's little accents of Ghanaian beads and just some African influence. Even Black Panther, him understanding who he is within his community and his culture. I think that we can all speak to that, especially as an artist, like how do we fit into this big scheme of things? And it's all within like tapping into that gift and that talent that we have.
This collection is more of the transformation of the human into the superhuman, superhero. So each sweater kind of is a little bit of T'Challa's journey into becoming the Black Panther. if you've seen the movie, my favorite characters were the women of the movie, and I think the women really stand behind the Black Panther and help him. So the Okoye hoodie is based on his fiercest warrior, and I took inspiration from her. Marvel storytelling is one of the best storytellings out there, from the comics to the movies. So be able to pull from just the rich storytelling is a huge inspiration. It actually makes my job a lot easier to design because they give you all the pieces that you need through their character development and storylines.
I wanted it to be reflective, I wanted it to be powerful, I wanted it to look futuristic and progressive but still wearable. And, you know, based off of my interpretation in the film, if women in Wakanda were, you know, doing what they were doing, they would be wearing pieces like this.
I decided that we would just work with some of the elements of the story, like vibranium. I try to always bring vibranium into the clothing, weave it into the suit, give it its story. And that's kind of where I planted my futuristic contribution to tech in the costumes. So Ryan Meiterding at Marvel, along with Ryan Coogler, came up with this beautiful design for the Panther suit. It included this wonderful Wakandan language that travels throughout the suit. So I looked at the Civil War suit that he wore in Civil War. And I noticed that they had a texture on it that was reminiscent of the hash marks of African design. And I thought this would be an opportunity to create a new design, which is the triangle, and I called it the Okavango pattern. So we looked into printing this triangle shape on the surface of the panther suit in different sizes, really, really tiny, a little bit bigger. And I felt like I was creating not only a superhero, but an African king.
So it's about, for me, it's about the love of African culture. So I took all the elements of the people that I know, of the things that I saw in the movie, and it's a warrior, it's a strong woman. And you have the feather, you have the raffia, you have the embroideries, you have the touch of God, and I translate in a really couture pieces with all the elements. So here you have like the rooster feather, who are part of the African culture. You have the raffia, which is like something really important. And this is like a burlap. This fabric, they did it for us. And it's all touch of gold and wool and cotton. And here I make also embroidered with little pieces of metallic pieces. And I mix it to give like some roots to see the beauty of what it is.
You know, it's a superhero film, but it's so much more. It's the idea of showing people they can be both regal and villainous, and a love interest and a scientific tech genius and a flashy James Bond type figure. It's all these characters in one. And so even though film and fashion may be considered trivial to some, they really are a way to open the door to broader thinking on a global scale. So I think anybody who's seen the film or will see the film instantly thinks of King T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman's character, as being this strong, regal character. And so for me, it was the idea of like creating that look with a fusion of cultures. So my work is very much inspired both by the African continent, but also by classic European art history as well.